Today during Hurricane Preparedness Week, we're talking about assembling disaster supplies. With me is Adam Weintraub, the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency's Communications Director. Adam, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
For the National Hurricane Preparedness Week campaign, it talks about having 3 to 7 days worth of supplies. That's more of a mainland focus, right? What about us?
It is, and so mainland focus, because on the mainland, you're just a couple of interstate days drive away from some warehouse someplace that was not hit by a hurricane. We don't have that luxury here. We're 2,500 miles from the nearest outpost of mainland distribution source, so that means if our supply lines get disrupted, it can be quite a long time before we start to receive food, water, building supplies, fuel, those sorts of things. So we advise here in Hawaii that people be ready to be isolated from supply lines for as much as 14 days. If you're 2 weeks ready, then you're ready to deal with the situations here in Hawaii.
So having 14 days, being ready for 14 days, what should people think about having on hand for those 2 weeks?
Well, if you're sheltering at home, the most important necessities are going to be food and water, and the tools that you need to get information about the situation that you're in. So we recommend 1 gallon per person per day. So that's can take up quite a lot of space. If you don't have that space, there are places in your home, closets, where you can stash a couple of gallons here and there. The key is to not underestimate the amount of water that you might need for sanitation, for washing, for food preparation, that sort of thing. Food, if you have canned goods and you haven't bought things that are in pop-top cans, make sure you know where the can opener is, and make sure it doesn't run on electricity, because the power could be out. It's also important, if you have some sort of a medical condition that requires maintenance medication, know that you've got that 14-day supply available to you. Keep a little extra on hand if you can. That way, if you were coming up to the end of your prescription and you only had a few days worth left when the storm hit, you're not scrambling to get to a pharmacy to make sure that you can continue your necessary medical supplies.
You mentioned making sure you haven't wasted information. So
one of the crucial things during an emergency is the ability to update yourself on the situation as it changes, because roads reopen. You may find that the place where you would usually get gasoline is underwater now, something along those lines. So it's important to have your cell phone, which should be charged, and if you can, it's useful to have an extra power cell, one of those portable batteries you can use, because the power could be down and you can't charge the phone unless you can get out to your car and you have a charger in there. So think about, you'll need to be able to use that phone for more than a day or two. Secondly, if you've got a battery-powered radio, that'll enable you to turn into weather updates and to the news stations that will be providing updates. That can be portable battery-powered. There are some that are available that you can crank or that you can stick out in the sun and charge the batteries solar cell-wise. Those are all useful tools to have on hand, and they can keep you connected. One other thought. A lot of people get tired of getting those alerts about Amber Alert and hearing when the sirens go off. On your cell phone, they turn off the alert function. If there's a storm coming in, turn that back on. If there's a vital need to take action, we will push out information about emergency activity through the cell phone network. So if those alerts are turned off, you won't necessarily get it. So if we're in an emerging situation, switch that sucker back on.
Great, that's great advice. We appreciate you coming out to talk to us out here.
Do it, and hope everybody can be prepared.
All right. Thank you for listening into this, talking about assembling disaster supplies. Hopefully you have the space and resources to be 2 weeks ready, but even if you don't, every little bit helps. So as we head into hurricane season, look at your disaster kit, make sure nothing's expired from previous years, and refresh anything that needs to be. Thank you.